Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Huge news. Netflix and Marvel just canceled Daredevil Season 3. I don't feel so good, Mr. Netflix. There is no coincidence that they just canceled Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Daredevil after some of their best seasons so far. We'll do a new round of that IMAX ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Daredevil memory on the video. Obviously, there's a lot of bad news, but there is some good news in all this, so I just broke this down top 10 style. Netflix's official statement here. Marvel's Daredevil will not return for a fourth season on Netflix. We are tremendously proud of this show's last and final season, and although it's painful for the fans, we feel it best to close this chapter on a high note. We're thankful to our partners at Marvel, showrunner Eric Olson, the show's writers, stellar crew, and incredible cast, including Charlie Cox as Daredevil himself, and we're grateful to the fans who have supported the show over the years. While the series on Netflix has ended, the 3 existing seasons will remain on the service for years to come, meaning that Netflix is going to keep all of the episodes and all that content that they've made with those characters. But number 9, they go on to say, this is the really good part, while the Daredevil character will live on in future projects for Marvel. So Netflix themselves is saying that Marvel is intending on using the Daredevil character in future projects like on the Disney streaming service, which I'll talk about in a second. 8, you'll remember they said the exact same thing about the Iron Fist character and the Luke Cage character. There's still a couple shows they haven't terminated yet, but Marvel sounds like it has plans for these characters. So not just Daredevil, even though they were pretty explicit, like, oh yeah, Marvel is definitely going to be using this character in a brand new project coming soon. But 7, what are those future projects? Early prediction is that they'll most likely be some of those Avengers 4 spin-off TV series they've greenlit for the new Disney Plus streaming service launching late in 2019. We don't have an exact launch date for that service, but based on the schedule with which Marvel announced the new series that they've already greenlit, it sounds like the Loki Thor series will be the first one to premiere, maybe between October and November of next year. It'd be weird for them to launch a series in December. Usually big live-action shows launch in the fall sometime between October and November. What I'm expecting is that Disney is going to release an official schedule for the Disney Plus streaming service of all their shows, not just the Marvel shows, but everything, at D23 next year, which is happening the month after Comic-Con. So just to be clear, D23 is happening right before they launch that service. So 6, this goes hand in hand with what Marvel is doing next summer. Marvel sat out Comic-Con because they were in between Avengers films and it was such a downer ending after Infinity War. They weren't ready to start celebrating Avengers 4 yet because you can't really explain why they come back without giving away spoilers. And because next year that won't be a big problem, they can come back to Comic-Con. They'll have already completed the Fox Disney deal. So their Marvel panel next year is going to be huge. They can release their Phase 4 movie schedule, start hyping Black Widow and the Eternals movie, which will be some of the first movies they release in Phase 4 besides Spider-Man Far From Home, and they can reveal what their first X-Men or Fantastic Four Fox-based Marvel movie is going to be, now that they're back in the MCU. Because if you haven't heard the news, Marvel is expecting that deal to finish by the time Avengers 4 is hitting theaters in early May. So I think they'll spend most of Comic-Con just talking about MCU Marvel stuff, and then they'll save all the TV stuff for the Disney streaming service for D23, which is the month after Comic-Con. Gotta get real though, number 5, the fact that Netflix has canceled 3 of the 5 Marvel series means that cancellations aren't as much about the quality of the past seasons of the shows, but part of a larger business move and shift away from the Disney Marvel licensed content. Several times over the last year, the Disney CEO has revealed that they're pulling all Disney content of any kind from Netflix over the course of next year as the contracts start to expire. There's some stuff that'll probably stay on a little bit longer because they signed contracts a little more recently, but all that stuff is coming to the Disney Plus streaming service, except for the Marvel Netflix shows. They were kind of hanging in the balance because Netflix paid to make those, and they have the rights to those episodes, but not necessarily to the characters, which is why Netflix is saying that the characters will live on in other projects, but they're saying that the episodes will always remain exclusive to Netflix. Which number 4, I think, gives you an idea for what Marvel's real plans are for these characters. So obviously, we don't get Daredevil Season 4, we don't get Luke Cage Season 4. I think the fact that Netflix is keeping all the old episodes of that stuff exclusive to Netflix means that Marvel isn't just going to turn around and do, say, Daredevil Season 4 on the Disney Plus streaming service. they'll just put Daredevil in some other TV show, and the same thing with Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and probably The Punisher. So if you're hoping for Daredevil Season 4, it just seems like they're not going to do that. Now, maybe if they had gotten rights to all the episodes, like if they could get all 3 seasons on that Disney Plus streaming service, then they might do Daredevil Season 4. But it would be really weird for fans who are brand new to the series to see seasons on different services. Like, oh, if you want to watch season 1, you got to buy this other streaming service. But if you want to see the new season, you have to subscribe to this other streaming service. So I don't think that Disney wants to bifurcate its audience that way. So just more evidence that they'll appear in somebody else's TV series. 3. Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio himself, has said for years he would love to do a Spider-Man project with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. This is a clip of him talking about that a little while ago.
Can I say Spider-Man now?
Yeah. Fans would kill me if I didn't say Spidey.
What?
Spidey would be really nice to drop by Daredevil.
Of course, Kingpin wants to do something with Spider-Man. Right now, because of what happened, Netflix canceling the series, it's a lot easier for Marvel to use that character wherever they want. They can put him in a Sony Spider-Man film if they want to. There's no weird usage clause a la Netflix, Sony competing businesses because technically they originated that character in the Marvel Netflix series. So I think if they actually wanted to use him in a Spider-Man movie, they would have to get Netflix to sign off on that and sign some sort of co-licensing arrangement. But now that that's all done, there are no issues with that. They can put Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin anywhere they want in the MCU. No big deal. 2, based on the shows that Disney has already announced, Loki, Scarlet Witch and Vision team up, and then the Winter Soldier Falcon team up series. My best guess is that the show that they add Daredevil to has not been announced yet. He doesn't really work as a character with Scarlet Witch and Vision just because they're basically gods within the MCU, they're so powerful. And even though Winter Soldier and Falcon are pretty grounded characters, they're secret Avengers traveling all over the world jet-setting style, and Daredevil still feels very much like a character localized to New York City. So don't be surprised if sometime next summer Marvel announces other new shows that they're developing for the streaming service with MCU characters that Daredevil appears on. They haven't said anything about doing a Marvel Defender series, but it's always possible that they could bring all the characters back. But right now it sounds like they might scatter them around just a little bit. Like when they come back, they might not all come back at the same time. So number 1, the obvious I feel like we gotta talk about. Punisher Season 2 and Jessica Jones Season 3 have already finished shooting their new episodes. Netflix confirmed that they're gonna air those episodes. They didn't say exactly when, but sometime early next year. But because of this recent Daredevil cancellation, I think that all the nails are in all the coffins for all these shows. So a month after Punisher Season 2 premieres and a month after Jessica Jones Season 3 premieres, you'll probably hear the same story from Netflix and Marvel. Like, we just decided to part ways, we're really happy with what we did, but we're going to take these characters and do something else with them. Post all your reactions in the comments below, and let me know which new Avengers spin-off MCU TV show do you want Daredevil to pop up on. There's a bunch of Captain Marvel news. We actually just found out who Jude Law is playing for real, so I might do a video for that sometime in the next day or two. Leave your requests in the comments below. Click here for my breakdown of all those cool details the Russos gave about Avengers 4 and Infinity War at that special event, and click here for my new Avengers 4 teaser trailer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.